Rodniks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. Once I was king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the blockchain dirt. This pivot might just heal the hurt. I got the crypto mining blues, but I'm stepping in brand new shoes. The AI train's on a steady roll, gonna wreck compute and regain control.
I was digging deep in the digital ground, hoping for treasure, but nothing was found. The rigs were buzzing, the heat was real. Electric bills biting like a thief who steals. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. I stacked up GPUs, thought I'd strike it rich, but the market's a beast with a wicked glitch. Hash rates climbing, rewards falling flat. Chasing that coin, I'm chasing a cat. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. AI knocking, it's a brand new game, whispering sweet that it knows my name. Ran out the power, let it learn and dream. A smarter hustle, a brand new scheme. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, no more feudal race, just AI visions lighting up the space. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my days. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, used AI vision, lighten up the space.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Happy Saturday night, everybody. Glad you guys are here. Let people kind of trickle in a bit, but for those people that are already here, D2 Miner, D Parsh, and First Time 13, appreciate you guys being here on time. On time. Red Panda said he was going to be here, but he's late. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I will have Crooman joining me here in a few minutes. Hobbyist was going to, but it's the day before Easter. Last things come up. He's got kids. I don't, so I don't really have to worry about setting out Easter baskets and such. And if you're having people over and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I totally get it. Totally get it. Sudden honeydews. So quick update on the hip for those people that showed up early. It's doing better. Just going to take time. Still on crutches. I started outpatient physical therapy. I'm doing a little bit more than I was doing before, but still can't walk on my own. Still using crutches. One of the things they tell you is whatever you do not fall. It is the absolute worst thing that can happen because the implant hasn't fused to the bone yet, which means there's still play. And if you fall, it's going to apply stress to an already weakened bone. And yeah, it's not good. Not good. So I'm being a little cautious. I did walk with one crutch for a little bit today, but I was still feeling pain in the groin area. Again, that's just the part of the soft tissue stress that they put on it when they kind of open the whole thing up. So it's getting there. Taking ibuprofen, not ibuprofen, taking Tylenol, icing less because it's not as swelled as it was. It's not really swelled much at all. Icing it mainly for pain, more than anything else. But anyway, it's getting there. So anyway, hoping tonight I can maybe stream for a little bit longer if that's where things take this. But we'll see. But yeah, Crew, whenever you're ready to come on in. I haven't seen him show up yet into the room yet. But yeah, we got some good topics tonight. Definitely, it was a really good week for rentals. Set a new record. This time, if you add, I was $11.90 for the week. Almost hit $1,200 just on Vast. But I do have a 4090 that's been rented on Salad, so that made like net of around between $17 and $18. So I did break $1,200 for the first time this week. So definitely happy with that. I still have one rig. I shouldn't say still. It hasn't been on for that long. But I have a 5090 rig that is currently still not verified. It's at 98.4% reliability. I think once it starts getting over 99, I have a much better chance of getting verified at that point. But yeah, it's definitely been real good. We'll go over a couple of things I have heard this week regarding GPU rentals, because market's hopping. It's definitely hopping. Prices are going up, not down. And I definitely have seen that on my 4090 and my 5090 rentals. Heck, for that matter, even on a lot of the 5060 Ti rentals as well. 3090s have just been rented for so long that they're still rented at the old prices, which is fine. That's fine. I'd rather have a long-term rental that I know is going to be there. So that's been real good, really good. Those 3090s. All right, let's see who else showed up. Sunflower Mama is here. I'm sure she just popped in to say hi. Doombots do not feed it after midnight. Yes, from oh my god. I can't think of the movie. I can picture the little guys that are all cute and cuddly. When you feed them after midnight, they don't get so cute and cuddly. So I know the movie. I just can't think of the name of it. Yeah, keep those 50/90s paying the bills. Yeah, no question. I did actually double check my paycheck this week, so the short-term disability did get active. Just, you always want to make sure of things. It wasn't like I didn't think it was going to happen, because all that was approved and everything. But it's just trust but verify. So I did verify that, so we're all good there. So yeah, it's been, like I said, if you can avoid getting a hip replacement, I recommend avoiding it. But if you need one and you go on leave, it's kind of peaceful. Not even kinda. It's peaceful because I don't even think about work. Well, occasionally I do, but I really don't think about work. I think about all the different, it allows your mind space to kind of start thinking just about what do you want to do next. So this week I started getting an NVIDIA AI certification. I forget exactly what it was called. I haven't finished it yet, but I plan on taking the class, the certification early next week, and then I plan on getting my CKA certification, which is Kubernetes. There's been, anyway, we may get into this a little bit tonight, just because I'm curious if anybody here will have any insight into this. But basically, that some people are going away from Docker and they're going to Talos plus Kubernetes as an alternate solution. I just read that and I was like, interesting. Haven't dove into it yet. So there's just a lot of things. Started learning about, everybody's heard of OpenClaw. How many of you ever heard of Hermes? I hadn't until today. So now I'm thinking about going into Hermes because it seems like it's a better solution. It's earlier on, but it already has built-in skills. So anyway, we'll get into a lot of this stuff later on. But yeah, it just gives me time to kind of think and think about projects and things like that I want to get done. So anyway, all right. Well, Crude is here, and I do plan on giving him a hard time tonight. Please join in. Hold on a second.
These pink robes in the background, these pink shades in the background are not going to help my cause, are they?
That's all right. Hey, I know I know the situation. I know, and I mean that as where he's at. And so I'm going to call him the situation today.
Yeah. That's fair. What's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing? Everybody can hear both of us. Please give us a heads up.
I haven't really talked to you since before the surgery, actually.
Yeah, you've been checking in, so I do appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who has been checking in, seeing how I'm doing. I do appreciate it. I've been sleeping a lot. So body it needs to repair itself. So it just wears itself. Yeah, you just get tired.
Oh, dude, I bet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's been good. I can rest comfortably. It's
you're you're not hobbling as much, right?
No, I mean hobbling, no, because you're taught like, hey, if you can't walk normally with one crutch, use two. Then when you're using one crutch, if you can't walk normally without a crutch, use a cane. And then same thing. So they teach you learn to walk normally, because your body will start to adjust. So like, for instance, like my body had adjusted to having the bad hip. So my pelvis was tilted. So when I came out of surgery, I was a little worried. I'm like, my right leg, the new one, is shorter than the left leg. Not as much as it was, but it still seems shorter. And they're like, don't worry, your body's going to adjust. You were probably tilted the other way anyway. We took really good measurements, and so you should be fine. And so they were not concerned, and I've already kind of seen it start to even out a little bit. But yeah.
How much has your mobility improved overall so far?
Well, I mean,
or is it too early to tell?
The pain is just different. The pain is in soft tissues, not the joint. So like before I had pain in the joint, big pain in the joint, and then I also had like sciatic pain down the leg. The sciatic pain down the leg is still there to a certain extent. Again, they wrenched on the IT band and all that kind of stuff going down the leg. So that muscle is still very, very tight, and like to the touch is a little sensitive. So that just needs to repair, and I need to get it stretched. So over time that will go away. The inside groin is where the bigger pain is, and that's where my limiting factor is in being able to walk.
Will that go away?
That will go away, yes.
So like
They said in about another 2 weeks that pain will be gone.
So say we do the same thing next year, go to CES, you'll walk normally.
I will walk normally by next year, yeah, absolutely.
And because I remember like when we were with you, I was literally like trying to plan your route for you.
Yeah,
like,
no,
watching you walk, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die.
Yeah, it was just interesting because I mean I appreciated that a lot. Because you were very sympathetic to it, but for me it was just my normal. It wasn't like I wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I just have to deal with this pain and get through it, and hey, I need to rest for a little bit or whatever, and that's just, I just knew I was going to have to do that. But I will say I am very much looking forward. Probably I believe the HPC conference this year is in Chicago. And
Really?
so I think it's in November, and so I am planning on going to that. So I'm looking forward to that being my first conference that I go to.
You wanna go to Taiwan with me? I'm booking my flight this week.
I can't afford to go to Taiwan.
It's actually not as
no,
expensive
I
as you
cannot
think.
go to Taiwan. I can't very well go to Taiwan and not be going to work. That would be
you get to meet. So the cool thing about Computex, from what I was talking to people, you're meeting like the people who make the cards. You're meeting the engineers.
I know.
You're going to these people that, like, when they see you, they're like, oh, American's here. He must not be screwing around. And what I've heard from some people is they control a lot of like the big sampling and stuff, not necessarily North America. So they could be like, I want him on the list.
Well, I've heard like getting there is the big cost. Actually, hotel rooms and eating and all that kind of stuff is like extremely reasonable compared to Vegas.
So the flight me and my buddy's coming with me. You didn't meet him, but he likes traveling, so he's gonna come with me. It's looking at about like 17 to 1800, which is a lot, but like think about this, right? Okay, so CES cost, I don't know, I think it cost me like three grand, maybe. Let's say 3,500.
Something like that,
everything. Yeah. 3 to 4 grand, right? Is what I cost. I've gotten back in samples like 5 or 6 more. Now that's not a perfect analogy because you don't sell it for what it's worth. But the point is, you go and you build these relationships, and not all of them pan out, but you know what I mean?
Right. No, I totally get it. But my point is just comparing the cost between Vegas and Computex. People would think, oh, well, Computex, gosh, the flight's going to be super expensive. It's just going to cost way too much to go. The thing is that once you're in Taiwan, the costs are reasonable. It's not like Vegas.
You need way more time in Taiwan too. Like you can do, like, especially think about it. If you live on the West Coast for CES, when you really only needed to do a few meetings, you could be in and out in 3 days.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean, that's not where we were. I mean, I left on Saturday. No, I left on Sunday morning and then came back on Friday. So
I always feel like I spend too much time at CES. Like when I'm flying in, I'm like, oh, but then I need every bit of it. Like I need every bit of that time, and it's always so annoying. Like my biggest, like Newegg. Remember Newegg was just something we met on Friday randomly.
Yeah,
they've been like my biggest champion. They've
Really?
sent me like the most. Oh my God, whatever I want from Newegg, they don't say no.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean within reason, but like, and then like some other ones you thought were gonna be big are like utter bust. Like Thermaltake blew me off again. Gigabyte's been, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to name any companies, but I will say one of the companies that we met, the one where you brought me up to the second suite that you brought me up to, not the first suite, but the second suite.
Yeah. Did he send you?
They reached out and said, "Hey, are you going to Computex?"
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I got that email too.
Yeah, so I appreciated that. And I did actually. I don't think I ever got a response from him. But I asked him. I said, the thing we were talking about that you said wasn't available yet. What was that?
You have to do a lot of following up, and right now, like everything's a little bit weird because it just
I know
the industry is slow-ish.
Man, I think things are gonna pick up though. RAM prices came down 20%.
Listen, you know what? I haven't talked to any of my RAM sources or any of my big contacts. I haven't in probably like a month. But I was talking to somebody else who is kind of a little bit connected, and we were freaking out about Sony raising their prices.
Mm-hmm.
And for one of the big things that he had said, and I told you this a few months ago, where the biggest things you had to watch were Apple and Sony, right? So Apple ended up saying, fuck everybody and just going cheap. And then Sony was like, whoa, guys, like we got to go more. So I don't know. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, because a lot of the AI stuff you said is definitely coming true.
Yep.
A bit.
I'm glad you said that, because I had the tape already queued up and everything from that live stream.
A little bit, but it's a little bit different than what you thought. And I did some. You actually caused me to do some research that I can get access to for my real job.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my bosses in on it, and the power for the big data centers is going to come online pretty fast, because there's a lot of state regulations for certain states that are they're just like cutting it all and letting it go right through. Other places, it's going to be worse than what you said. So it's weird, because there are like half the country is like, no, Crute's right, Max is wrong. And the other half is like, no, Max is really right. And then you have stuff like Apple going under, like lowering prices, and Sony raising them.
Right.
And then like my RAM people aren't talking. So I tend to think this year is still a bust, but I don't know. Here's the thing.
Well, first of all, so the big news this week was that OpenAI came out and said that they have letters of intent for the 40% of the RAM allocation, that of all the RAM allocation, they have 40% of the allocation, but they are only letters of intent. So they were basically intimating that, we're probably not going to buy it all. In fact, we might not buy much. And the reason why is because these are the rumblings that are going on in the market right now, is that, so you think, okay, OpenAI is still private. Well, that doesn't mean you can still sell private shares. Well, the rumors, I'll call them, but a little bit more than rumors, they are becoming very illiquid, because, as I said, and like I said, I can queue it up. As I said, investors are going to get impatient. They lost funding from the banks, and now there are no investors. And so they have to show a profit for more people to actually start giving more money. And what's the other part that's interesting is, I guess we can go into this a little bit later, but CoreWeave, Core Scientific, a lot of these Bitcoin mining farms are doing a transition where they can sidestep all of these approvals, because they already have the power. And they're like, what am I doing with all these Bitcoin miners when I could be making a hell of a lot more money? And I'm just a service at that point. I'm not actually even providing the GPU compute myself necessarily. I'm just selling them basically the space where they can either invest in us or they can bring in their equipment. So big customers like Microsoft has made a big investment in CoreWeave, and Core Scientific is making that same pivot as well. What was the other one? Started with Mara Holdings is also making a pivot. A lot of these companies are making pivots, and that's where from the power perspective and in the ability to turn up new data centers, I think actually that's where we're going to start seeing more of the data centers start to power up.
The problem with those farms is curtailment. A lot of those farms have pretty strict curtailment policies, because remember, miners make money on the curtailment. Whereas
no, I know.
Data centers don't. So like that.
No, I know. They have to factor that in, obviously, but they have certain contracts. So it obviously depends on how long those contracts are for. If they're only a year contracts, they can start making a pivot and also there's nothing that says that they can't renegotiate those contracts too.
And
They might end up getting a higher power rate,
they don't care
but
about that.
if they're going to plan on doing a total pivot,
They don't care.
then it won't matter to them because they'll make way more money that way.
So another thing that I was just hearing, I'm not connected in Bitcoin. I don't talk to anybody really in the biz or anything anymore. But with hearing a lot of centers and like the cost of Bitcoin mining right now, because like it's getting to the point where like even free miners aren't profitable, like 8-9 cents or 7-8 cents. So I'm a little worried about what the future of mining in the US is going to be like. Like, is it going to just totally collapse?
No, it's not. You're going to see more and more because there is. Think of it as GPUs in mining. Okay, we had gamers that wanted cards. They couldn't get them because the miners were buying all of them. They were buying them all up, and the gamers couldn't get them. So in this particular case, let's think of it as capacity of just large facilities. So now you're going to have high performance compute (HPCs) competing with Bitcoin mining, and it's like, well, wait a minute, there's really no competition at this point. Right now, HPCs kills the profitability compared to Bitcoin mining. So what you'll end up having is you have people that will pivot or companies that will pivot, which will reduce the hash rate for Bitcoin mining, which will then increase the profitability for those people that stick around.
I mean, I don't know because Bitcoin's price isn't going to hit and the hardware is still expensive. And think about this, you know what's going to get raised? The power prices are going to get raised because of HPC data centers, and Bitcoin needs power. Like the power costs matter. Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, it does. All I can tell you is that you know what I've been doing with my power, and my power rate is lower than it's ever been. So there are ways of getting your power costs down depending on where you are in the country. I mean, if you are in a particular part of the country where you only have one option and you can't do anything about it, you have no, time of use or anything that could switch suppliers or different programs, or like I said, community solar, all of those things can have a big effect. So I really believe a lot of those types of programs are going to continue to gain traction because, exactly as you said, curtailment is what saves a big portion of the country. And with data centers coming online, you're going to need people to be able to say, hey, I want to save money on my power. I want time of use. I will turn down my air conditioner between these hours. I will pre-cool my house down to 65 degrees at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And when I get home at 5 o'clock, it'll probably be like 72 and I'll have to deal with it for a short period of time. But by 9 o'clock, the rate will come down a bit. I'll turn the air conditioning back on and keep it at like 75.
I think a lot of
those types of things, more and more people are going to want to do that to save money.
I don't know, man. I definitely think people who have like computers, but I don't think the average person is going to do that. But that's just my opinion. Like,
I will say,
it will
be. So this is interesting because it kind of goes back to the, argument of people that are poor can't purchase in such a way to save themselves money. They have to buy whatever they need, but at the lowest possible cost. So in other words, if they have to buy, let's just say a refrigerator, everybody needs a refrigerator in their house. If they need to buy a refrigerator because their refrigerator suddenly goes out and it can't be repaired, they're going to buy the cheapest one out there that's only going to last them 3 or 4 years, when they could spend another 20% more and get one that's going to last 2 to 3 times as long. So in the short term, they're going to save money, but in the long term, they're going to pay more. It's the same type of thing with this power. People aren't going to want to think about it. People aren't going to want to try to automate it, even though you can with programmable thermostats like super easily. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this pans out. But if there's a great enough reward for it, you're going to save a lot of money for it. I think more and more people are going to do it. I know ComEd, beginning of this year, it came out with not just time of use or hourly pricing for supply side, they also came out with time of use for transmission side of things. Now I did the math for me, and I would save like minimal, like $20 for the year or something.
Dude,
So it wouldn't have mattered because I like I said, I did the math. What frustrated me is that ComEd, their calculator said I was going to save like $1,000, and I'm like, let me do the math. And I did the math. Like, there's no way.
Do you know how much I'd save if I just turned off my computer every day and didn't leave it on? I'd save $280 a year. Do you know what I'm never going to do?
Well,
I might now. No, I might now because I have a new setup that might, like, it's a long story, but I might turn it off now.
Wait a minute. How much does your computer run at idle?
Like 100. It was like 120.
Really? At idle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess I haven't measured mine. Like my whole room with my router, my wife's computer, my computer, when that thing's humming away, is only 600 watts.
I mean,
not much.
Yeah, no, I get it. I started tracking power a lot more, but honestly, like, I still might, even if I wasn't mining anything, my bill would still be, when I was using my heat or my air, still like right now with my rate, it's like $375 to $400. So like I put a miner on, like to heat a room or something like that, it's like $450, $475. Like it's not a good rate, but I'm up to 20 cents now.
Oh,
like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
I'm below 10. So
like, dude, I was at 9. When I had everything, I was at 9 cents. My neighbors were at 25.
I actually just, like, within the last week and a half, I think I announced it last time, but it's now, I'm waiting to get the final allocation so that I can get turned on, which usually takes probably another month or two. But I did get more community solar, which will save me another $450 a month. Not a month, $450 a year.
My TP link's set up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but my VLANs, when I set up my VLANs properly, I crashed my network, so I had to take them off and I got to reset them up again. Ask Goat about that one.
How did you set them up where it crashed your network?
I don't know, but Goat helped me set them up. We got everything done. The network just went nuts. So,
that's weird.
And my 2.5 gig is being weird because like I think it's like trying, like I had it where it would like fluctuate, where it like give some bandwidth to this, some to that, and now I'm trying to fix it. Like this, I will tell you what, going from an 8 like a straight up mesh system, which was easy peasy, obviously not perfect, but to this stuff, this is hard transition, and it takes a lot of learning.
It takes some time. Yes,
it takes a lot of learning. To be fair, TP Link has been really helpful. Like they've been really good about helping me, but like it's not easy to do.
Yeah, no, I know. It was interesting. I had one of my past clients reach out and was like, hey, my ports don't seem to be going through, and I'm like, all right, send me what your setup is. And what it came down to, although this person's provider is telling him that he's in bridge mode, but I'm like, there's no way you're in bridge mode because your WAN IP address is a private IP address. You need that to be the external IP address. Otherwise, this is never going to work. So yeah. So anyway, I didn't even see whether he sent me an email back. I sent that to him earlier today, and then proceeded to go back to sleep. But yeah, it's interesting because you kind of, once you get everything set up, you're like, oh, you don't remember how much you learned along the way. Now it's just, I just get it.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be getting a call soon because I don't want to bug Geek. You'll be getting a call and be like, dude, because I got one thing set up so you get all my like security cameras. That's all done, but I got to get another one, and I got to I'm afraid I'm going to break it again. And it's just been a pain.
I don't understand how you can break it. All of your equipment should be on its own VLAN, and then you just set up other VLANs for computers. So your networking equipment is on one VLAN.
Yeah, I know. And
by the way, and I made that mistake because I accidentally.
Wait, what do you mean networking on one?
So, like, your actual networking equipment has its own IP address.
Mm-hmm.
That should all be on the same VLAN.
Okay.
So if it's not, it can run into problems. I started running into problems because when I added my 2.5 gig switch to the basement, I thought, well, I'm only going to have, my Vast stuff hooked up to it. So I'll just make that only the Vast VLAN going to that switch. And it didn't allow me to manage it correctly because it could see the clients, but it couldn't see the device because it wasn't on the same VLAN. So that was kind of weird. But once I figured that out, I'm like, oh, duh, you got to put that on the same VLAN. So then I made the switch, and then had to boot a few things, and then everything came back up. But
yeah, I'm definitely gonna need your help because I want to go through it and get it done one more time. And I have a fucking when my network was going crazy, I tried to plug in. They sent me another wall port. I was like, hey, I need one, and they sent it to me. And I was like, it's not working. Like, so I tried to plug it in during that crazy time, and it got an IP address from that, and now it won't connect because it still has this old IP. And I've like purged, I've unplugged it, I've replugged the port into a different port, I've hard resetted it, and I can't shake the IP on it.
Is it a Wi-Fi wall switch, or is it hardwired?
It's PoE.
Okay, so it is hooked up directly to the switch. So you should be setting up, like, at the ports, you should be setting up at each port what VLAN. What VLAN can actually go through that?
No, you're missing. I can't. It won't even add to my network because it has.
But you said it's got an IP address.
But it has the wrong IP.
What do you mean by the wrong IP address?
So like it has an IP that doesn't make any sense, and it won't refresh to grab an IP from the network.
So what the port that's hooked up to? What VLAN are you letting through?
It's all. This is all the same VLAN on this one.
Again, it's not the device; it's the port.
I'll show you next, probably on next week sometime.
Okay.
I'm gonna set up the time with you when you're not dead, and I'm gonna have you help me with this because it's driving me nuts.
Like I said, I am really tired a lot of the time, but I'm awake 12 hours a day, so it's not like I don't have time. I got some time.
I need 20 minutes to get this done. I'm losing my mind.
So Max. You need like 2 hours. Got it.
No, I did a lot of this myself, and I used that travel router when I was down in Disney, which was really nice.
So there's an old saying in the bicycle industry.
Yeah.
So if you want me to fix it, it'll be $100. If you try to fix it first, it'll be $200.
No,
because the person screws it up trying to fix it themselves. So I'm just saying that maybe
yeah.
I'm gonna have to undo some things that you did and then go from there.
I undid a lot of things that I did. Don't worry. That was fun trying to figure all that out.
Well, anyway, let me catch up with the chat because I've been completely ignoring it.
Yeah. Well, actually, hold on. I got a quick question for you. I'm going to derail you real quick, but I think it's an important one.
Okay.
How do you feel about GPU prices, like for the 4090? You think you're going to keep yours for a while?
I'm going to keep it. Like I said, the prices are going up for rentals.
How are the rental prices going up?
Yeah. Good,
because I'm about to get my rental farm set up as soon as we get this fixed.
So let me go through the chat, and then I want to go over one thing I did want to talk about tonight because I've been trying it out and it's been good. So Doombot says, I've been thinking about AI certification. Seems like there's loads of free programs out there. Suspicious, in my opinion. Yes, I believe like you can complete classes and have a certificate of completion. That's not a certification. What you need, I think, to really show like you're serious is certifications. So I actually went through and asked a lot of questions, and this is what I want to do, and this is my background because I talk to Claude all the time. It's kept all the context, everything. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, based on your background and what you're talking about wanting to do, these are the things you should do. So the first thing is there's an NVIDIA AI certification that's just super, super basic, but it's a start and it's something I can put on my LinkedIn page to say, yes, I'm heading down this path. Then the next thing is going to be the Kubernetes administrator, certified Kubernetes administrator. That I definitely want to get. And there's some other things. Slurm is another thing I need to learn. Anyway, there were a number of things that I definitely want to learn because I'm like, everybody talks about people are going to be losing their jobs. Great. That's not great, but okay. So you want to make sure you're in demand. So either one of two things. either start an AI agency where in an industry that you're familiar with and start selling a particular like SaaS or something like that. It's definitely been something I've been thinking about. Sell, software as a service, monthly subscriptions, those types of things, or just sell a solution as a single price and then just keep moving. One of those two could definitely do that. I definitely have some insight in certain markets where I could definitely help with that. The other piece of it is data centers are going to be being rolled out. So they're going to need more people to be able to do that. Up until I had the surgery, I couldn't even think about it because I would not have been physically able to do a lot of the things that need to be done. Running cables and, part of it is going to be physical, but a big part of it is going to be, software and everything. So I want to make sure that I have those certifications where I can show my knowledge and so that's kind of where I'm heading. Plus, these are some fun things that I'd like to try to maybe experiment with. And then the other part of it is I definitely want to try out Hermes. So anyway, I have a lot of ideas. I need to get past this hopefully healing phase where I can actually be awake for 16 hours a day instead of only 12 and sleepy during a lot of those 12 hours. But once I'm past that, I'm pretty excited. Plus I do want to create some more videos. I have two like right off the bat that I want to do. One of them I need to be more mobile than I am right now. The other one I'm waiting for my power. This one's going to take a while to make, but I'm going to finally just do a one-shot video on how I'm saving on power, on my power price and what I'm getting it down to, and how basically showing people what is possible, at least in my comment area, but to really to open up the door of, hey, you need to do some investigation on your own as to what is possible with your particular and then I'll be like, hey, if you want to open up a coaching call to say how can I save money on my power bill, I'll sit there and go through the website with you and try to figure out what's possible with your particular provider. So anyway, that's just lots of ideas of what I want to get done. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to kind of take 7 days a week for another couple weeks while my leg is recovering. I mean, the doctor basically said 3 months. I was really surprised because he originally I said 7 weeks because that's what I thought it would be. I thought it would probably be 6 weeks, but I'll just say 7 weeks just to make sure. And then he filled out the paperwork saying, no, 3 months. I don't want you walking on concrete, and you're going to be walking on the floor. You're going to want to turn and do things. You're not going to think about it. You need to be out for 3 months. And I'm like,
take advantage of it, man. Generate content. Do what you got to do.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take advantage of it. Yes, but I don't I'm sorry. I'm ethical in the way where I'm not just going to take advantage of it, because the bottom line is short-term disability is when you're actually disabled. So the point is that if I have recovered enough, what was that?
You are flawless. The doctor has you on medical. They can't argue with you. You're not over it. Listen, your company would take advantage of you right away. You don't owe them anything. So
you're not wrong.
If you want to get ethical, if you're in the time span your doctor gave you, that's ethical. If you start going over it, then you're in a point where you're taking advantage of it.
I will say I was shocked because I was finishing up the paper. I said, hey, I need you to fill out this paper. Like, well, we did. And we sent it. I said, well, they said they didn't send it. So can you send it to me so that I can upload it directly to their website? And so obviously I looked at it before I uploaded it and I was like, wow, they're extending me out another month. I was a month, well, actually 5 weeks. And I was like, wow, okay.
Take advantage of it, man.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. We'll see.
You're crazy if you don't.
Well, it isn't like that short-term disability pays out anywhere near the amount of
that's fair.
Of salary. So, and I only have so much time off that I can use to supplement it.
Is everything going okay at your job as far as?
We'll find out later.
Okay.
So I really can't talk about that.
No, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, we all know, anybody, I don't care where you are, what industry you're in. The bottom line is that there's always the possibility of the grass is greener on the other side with whatever you're doing. The fact that, oh, we don't need this person, we don't need this person, we need to cut back here, we need to cut back here, because we are definitely in the stage leading up to a recession where companies are just cutting back. I mean, look at Oracle. Oracle did exactly that. They basically said, we only have so much money we can spend, so we are going to cut back all these people. Yes, they're going to have a lot more to do, and we're going to use that money to spend more money on data centers. Bottom line, it's basically what they did. And they laid off all of their highest paying people, the ones that had 20 to 30 years of experience. So the only good thing I can say about the company that I work for is they seem to be pretty clueless about AI. So
A lot of people are.
the thing is, I'm like, I've tried getting through to them of like, look, there are I've even shown them, I did something for myself where there was a task that I had to do every single day. And I basically fed it into Claude saying, this is what I have to do. What's the easiest way to do it? And they basically said, oh, here's this little script to run. This is the process, da 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 da. And so I took this thing that was going to take me like 20 to 25, sometimes 30 minutes to complete. And of course, because it's a longer task, I'm constantly getting interrupted all day. Well, I made that into about a 5-minute task, so I wasn't getting interrupted and I could finish it in 5 minutes. So it became a super easy task to complete. And it was really important to get done. And I had trouble getting it done during a regular part of the day. And when I did this, now I could get it done. Now we're the only site doing this. There's other sites that are doing what I'm doing, but they don't have the script that I have. So when I did teach it to one of my supervisors, I tasked him to do it while I was gone. And he did contact me when I was out saying, hey, I'm running into a little bit of a problem. And I walked him through it again. And he's like, okay, I got it. So now he's doing it and he's able to run it through. It was interesting because basically what it was is it was a metrics display that we put up, and so it had people's names on them, but it would basically be like, this person's better than this person in metric. we are tasked, we can't show names. So I got it where basically a block was put over the names, and because I was on a 4K screen and it was done via pixels via Python script,
Oh no.
it was I adjusted it for me. But as soon as I put it on his screen, which was only a 1080p screen, it wasn't coming up the same way. So I had to adjust those pixels. And once I adjusted that, they worked. So, but anyway, point being is I'm just like scratching the absolute surface. There are so many things we do on a daily basis that could be save so much time. We have a morning meeting that we have, and we have to prepare a report, and it's done manually. We have 3 different sources for information, and so we get 3 different reports, and there's a little bit of cut and paste that can be done, but not all. And really it should just be, okay, fine, maybe we need to get the data. The easiest thing would be to say, this data is in this spreadsheet, this data is in this spreadsheet, and this data is in this spreadsheet. Go to those spreadsheets and populate this Google sheet automatically. And that should be able to be done. So I was going to try to do that while I was out because I wanted to see if I could get it done, but they cut off all access. So, I get it. I can't do work while I'm on leave. So
I got a question for you. Will you, with what you're doing with AI, do you ever think about retasking some of your 5090s for you?
I have thought about it, yes.
Because I got a buddy who had a pretty big farm, and he sold all his 4090s, and he took all his rentals offline, and he put all his 5090s and his RTX 6000 together for his own cluster, and he's doing his own AI stuff. And I said, was it worth it? He said, yeah, dude. He said he sold his 4090s for like 2,400, and he sold his RAM for like 600 to 800, and he sold me all the rest for like nothing. He literally like just gave it to me basically because he made so much. And he said, I made way more than I would make renting these things, and I still have the 5090s and the 6000. And he's doing a bunch of home AI stuff. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's learning some AI stuff for himself.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that. That's kind of, like I said, that's where you get into like software as a service in developing some of those solutions. So that has been a
Like,
thought.
when you-
So the thing with AI is the limiting factor is not
tokens.
your ability. Your limiting factor is your imagination. Bottom line, if you can imagine it, you can make it. And that's honestly where sometimes I feel like I limit myself, because I don't necessarily have the imagination to do all the things that I see other people. I'm like, God, I never would have thought of that. God, I would have never have thought about that. It's the imagination that once you have the idea is, but again, I'm looking at people inventing things in industries that they're familiar with, that they have a passion about. And so I have familiarity with other industries that I know I could help out. And so I just need to kind of, I was watching a video today. Chris Corner, his last name Koerner. He's got a great YouTube channel, and he basically comes up with ideas on his own. So he has his own projects. And actually, one of the ones I watched today was just something he did like off the top of his head. He made it and he just did it. And it was just kind of interesting to see like how he implemented it, what he did, A/B testing, all these things. I mean, obviously he shortened it. He didn't do it live, but so he edited it down, but it was obviously done like he really did this when he said he did it. It was pretty fascinating. But he also interviews a lot of people that have ideas. The last one I just watched was a woman that had recently had a baby. Her husband was working 2 jobs. She never saw him. And she's like, I gotta figure out something that I can do to help support the family. So her big passion was taking all of these pictures and like doing something with it for her family. And she's like, well, if I want to do that and I don't have time for it, like I bet all these other people do too. So she ordered like a picture magnet making kit, and she started a website, and it just grew. And her first year they did 1.6 million in revenue, like $600,000 in profit in the first year. And she was obviously amazed, but she had, I should say she had instinct into this thing. She's like, well, I'm going to go to these, all of these like fairs and things like that that people go to, and I can just make them on the spot, hand out cards. And she had an idea of like doing weddings, and she's like, yeah, nobody's gonna want that, but man, that'd be really fun to do. And then certainly at one of the fairs, somebody's like, hey, could you come to our wedding and do and be part of our wedding and hand these out to our guests? And she's like, absolutely, like that's what I really wanted to do. And she's like, you're not just saying, like, no, I really wanted to do this. You're asking me, you're going to be the first, but I had thought about that, but I never thought anybody would want to do it. So, and it just grew from there. So now she's doing weddings, like school fairs, she's getting to the point where she's hiring people out. Anyway, point being is this small little idea where she had a passion for it just grew into this big business within a year. And she's growing from there. Now she's actually creating product to help other people get into this business. She's like, the margins aren't as good, but it's extra profit. And I can share my passion with people. So it's really cool to see somebody who is like so passionate about something and then grow it into a business. So I don't know, just really been kind of
yeah, but like you
going down the rabbit hole, I guess.
All you gotta do, like if I were you, why don't you just take a pair of your 5090s, put them with like a 3900X, 128 gigs of RAM, and just start training your own model or messing with stuff like that.
Well, like I said, I had definitely thought about that. I have a 4090 that right now is on salad. So I actually just thought about like taking that. I was actually thinking about building another computer because that one's on like an old i7, like a sixth or seventh gen i7. So it isn't very powerful. And I've definitely thought about using, maybe I should just try it on that first and see how it does, instead of building it out. But
Well, because I gotta get that farm built out, right? Like once this internet's done, my garage is finally clean. I demoed it. Like everything is at the finish line. It's just with little kids and life, it just takes longer. You know,
Yeah.
we're about 2 months later, which is fine because it's like, anyway. So I've got, you know, 45090s and a 4090. So I'm like, all right, I'll rent maybe 2 or 3 of them, and I'll maybe make 2 into like, you know, I'll pair 2 5090s together and run LLMs or something, do content and learn about it. Because like I'm not, with 20 cents power and like 3 or 4 GPUs, I'm not gonna make a lot of money.
yeah. Let me sorry, gotta catch up with chat.
You're good.
So Doombot said, did you ask him to install a leveling kit? No, I didn't think of that. Do they make those for hips? Anyway, that was pretty funny. And then where's the other one? So if you do want to say something to me, please tag me. I'm reading all the tags. Frogman Mining says, I've been there for other reasons. Trust me, it's not a bad idea to at least rest more if doctor wants you to, but you are protected by FEMA, I would think, no matter, they have to keep the job. So yes, I can still on my own stay out for 3 months by saying I don't feel like I'm ready. So yes, I can still say I'm out on medical leave regardless of what the doctor says. But in order to be on short-term disability, they could inquire with the doctor to say, you know, is he ready to come back? And then the doctor basically said, he's like, look, I'll talk to you. You know, if they're asking you to get information from me, let's have a conversation. You don't need to come in, and you can tell me how you're doing, and then tell me your concerns or whatever, and then I will know how to respond to that on a medical basis. So anyway, I have a plan of attack as far as how that goes, but yeah, I hear you. I don't want to rush back. I definitely don't want to rush back. I want to go back and not, and the other thing is they don't want me to get injured either, because if I go back and they know that I have hip replacement and I'm not fully back, but they've kind of forced, no, I don't want to say forced.
Oh, then you don't have to
they
work
basically, you know, inquired, and then my doctor said, these are the limits. And maybe I go beyond those limits and I get hurt. Well, that becomes a whole thing. And obviously they're not going to want that.
Again.
No company wants that. So anyway, one day at a time. Like I said, right now I'm just enjoying the time. I wouldn't say my wife is kind of getting tired of it. I've been trying to be like not as needy as I was the first, you know, week and a half. But yeah, I think maybe starting tomorrow I'll just start coming down for meals so she doesn't have to bring food up to me. Because I can get up and down the stairs now, and I really should get moving around a bit more than I have been. So anyway, I was thinking about that today. But anyway, she's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
That's good.
Let me go back. Let's see. For you as I remember, best of luck. Oh, I see what you're saying. Of the industrialization era all over again, figuring out how to take advantage of steam engines and adapt them to your industry. Yeah, it is. It's just a different industrialization. It definitely is. And the companies that figure it out first are going to win. They're going to be able to save cost, have happier employees, honestly. You know, there are so many overworked people. I mean, I look at like our company, they want the supervisors out on the floor. They want them monitoring and talking to the forklift operators and helping them if they need help and all those kinds of things. Well, if they have admin tasks that they need to get done, and that takes half their day, well, that means half their day they're not out on the floor. But if you can take those admin tasks and take them down from 4 hours down to 1 hour, well, now you got 3 more hours that they can be on the floor, which will make the forklift operators more effective. So there's so many ways that AI doesn't necessarily mean that that people lose jobs. It just means that people can be more effective in their jobs and improve operations and things like that because they can interact with people. I think we're a long way off before you're going to start seeing, massive amounts of robotic forklifts. I mean, they do exist, but the one thing that they can't do
you'll be long for
is
it.
they
won't
can't
be a long time.
put things into a rack. They have
They
not
won't
really
be a
figured
long
that out.
time.
Yeah,
'Cause
it'll be quite a while.
liability. There'll be liability, too much liability. People won't want to pay it. I don't think people talk about self-driving trucks being in that industry. We're so far away from that because all it takes is one truck to kill somebody and that's it. One incident will put you back 10 years. Not maybe, I don't know. It depends how bad it is, but
Well, no, you're right. Is the fact that people are more
liability
willing. People are more willing to accept an accident with a human at the
100%.
wheel than they are a robot. So it won't matter that
the human was wrong.
It cuts 90% of all truck accidents. It reduces truck accidents by 90%. It won't matter. That 10% is what everybody will focus on, saying,
I don't know if
those accidents.
I don't know if it'll reduce it that much. I think over the road trucking
I'm just saying. I don't know if it will either. My point is that I took an extreme example. It won't matter because they'll focus on the 10%. Why were those accidents? Type of thing.
And it's not like you're going to see AI crop pickers. You're not going to see honestly, I mean, it's going to take jobs, but you wonder how many of those jobs are not bullshit jobs. Telemarketers will die, but is anybody going to be upset if telemarketers die as a job? Do you know anybody that will shed a cheer if telemarketers lose their job to AI?
Well, anybody be upset? No, but the problem is that it's too easy to make phone calls now. So yeah, it's gonna suck because now every phone call is AI now. And it's so funny. Yeah. They put background noise in, they put in the are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's really easy to hang up on those though.
Oh, they don't even come through because I will give Verizon a lot of credit for this. They have a free service basically where they know what all the spam calls are. I don't get any spam calls. They get cut off immediately.
Oh, that's nice.
So thank you, Joker Miner, for being a member for 33 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, sucks that the Illini lost.
I was actually rooting for them. I hate UConn, so they used to be a big rival.
I'm not a huge Dan Hurley fan. He's a little over exuberant for my taste. But I don't dislike their team. I think they have in my opinion, they have a likable team. And obviously the Illini had opportunities. UConn went through a 4 to 5 minute stretch where they didn't score a single point, and the Illini didn't close the gap fast enough. They were having their own problems. So they just, I don't know, they looked a little lost. They did not run their offense. It was a lot of one-on-ones. There were no assists. It wasn't what they needed to do. But anyway, I digress. It's not what this show's about. But anyway, I just brought it up because Joker was made a comment to me in a DM before the show. So
no, but I seriously I know it's the future and you can't fight it and you need to know it and it's going to change. But I'll be curious to see how far it goes because there's going to be a lot of people fighting back. Obviously, it's not going anywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about will it be adopted in every part of society or not to get too economic, but we live in this K-shaped economy where it's you're either fucked or you're not. And will it just be in one part of the economy and the other part just won't use it?
So I happened to come across I think it was a TikTok or maybe it was a reel. I don't remember, but anyway, or maybe it was a short. Anyway, this woman was showing, she's like, this is what AI is like. I called a hotel. Of course, she didn't go through how she got to the person. If you've ever called a hotel, there is a menu to go through. And one of them is, would you like to make a reservation? And if you hit that, you're going to get an AI on the other line that is going to be thinking this person's calling for a reservation. So that's where their whole program of that AI is expecting those types of responses. So if you ask, is the pool open? You know, what hours are the pool? You know, that's not that wasn't why you call. That's not why you hit I need a reservation. So she basically made like, this is what you get with AI. You know, and I want to talk to a real person, and like, you don't click on I want to make a reservation and expect to get a real person. You got to go to the other when they get through everything, and you say other, fine, other, and then eventually you'll get to a real person. It usually takes somewhere between 2 to 3 minutes of all menus. I've been timing it actually. And by the third minute, you can usually get to where you are headed to a real person. You may not get a real person, obviously, at 3 minutes, because you might get put in a line, but you definitely can get to a real person within 3 minutes. And and this person was like, yeah, it took 3 minutes to get to a real person. Well, yeah, that's kind of the way it is right now, but you hurt yourself by saying you wanted to get a reservation, but you had no intention of making a reservation. You had intention of asking all these other questions. It's disingenuous. So I don't know. There are people that are fighting AI because they don't like change.
Your
or
generation.
they don't like what it may do to the environment, or all these things. And so in a lot of cases, I can see why people are against it, especially in their backyard, where they might lose, you know, water may become more scarce, and electric may go up in price. And I get those arguments.
There
The
are so
argument
many people
where
that are
it's
barely
going
hanging on
to
right now.
it's going to get rid of jobs and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's the newest industrialization. We went through it 100 years ago, and we're going through it again. And
Dude,
you
it's
can
just-
either adapt or die. And
Huh?
and I choose to adapt.
But there are a lot of people who have no idea how to adapt.
The point is that that's the thing. I don't know how to adapt. You have to learn. You have to use, I mean, just the basics of just going to an AI chatbot, ChatGPT, clore.ai.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the other ones, but Gemini, any of those, you can go. Hell, Copilot probably too. I've never used Copilot, but any of those, and just have a conversation, ask questions. Now, they're not always right. I'll give you a great example. Today, so remember I said I had that recording queued up about me predicting that RAM prices were going to come down. I went to Claude, and Claude was like, well, I can't get into YouTube. YouTube actually has put up a wall to AIs that they can't get through the wall.
I love you. I gotta something just came up. I gotta run.
Oh, okay.
No, it's it's my birthday, so my buddy called, and I always pick his call up, so I gotta run and grab it.
Okay. Well, if you can come back, great. If not, appreciate you dropping in.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad your hip's better, and I actually really am bummed because I'm excited to hear you talk about this subject. So,
All right. See you later.
Max. Later, guys.
All right. I'm going to switch back just so I don't get anybody in here by accident. Hold on one second. That. There we go. All righty. So let me just make sure that okay, that was just, okay, never mind. All right. Shoot, where was I? But yeah, my whole point was adapt or die. Bottom line is figure out how to use the new technology to your best advantage and make yourself useful. Make yourself more useful than, it's kind of like, you know, when you're out with your buddies and you're camping and a bear comes upon you, you don't need to be the fastest. You just need to be faster than your buddy. It's kind of the same thing. You know, as long as you can make yourself more useful than the next guy and the next guy, they will either keep you or you will get the person that gets the job. So I truly believe that. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. Alrighty, let me go through the chat since I've been neglecting it. let's see. Doombot says you probably don't need multiple GPUs at this point. VLLM, TurboQuant, find the biggest, best model for your GPU that allows space for KV cache. 5060 Ti rig would be great. Yeah, I definitely thought about that too. Like taking my dual processor 5060 Ti rig, which I mean it makes like 20 cents. Makes like 20 cents an hour. Let me turn up the light a little bit. It's got fuzzy there for a second. Max doesn't want to milk the neediness. No, I don't. Sorry, let me get through these because these were from a while ago. But anyway, good point, Doombots. Sorry, Doom Boots. I keep saying Doombots. Doom Boots. Definitely. I have to kind of. I started going through this earlier and I didn't finish it, but I basically said, what would be a recommended configuration, GPU, VRAM, all that kind of stuff. And then I started going into wait a minute, I got to get ready for the stream tonight. So I started going down that. So I never got back to that. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that as well. So Doomboot says if they ignore your doctor's waiver and you get injured, you get a free bonus hip and can pay for all your friends to get hips too. Well, like I said, they don't want that. So they're going to defer to the doctor, I'm sure. But at the same time, I don't know, honest to a fault. I don't want to say I'm not good when I am good. And interestingly enough, that's where actually the doctor does come in, because there have been people that have gone back to do things too quickly, because by 2 months, I probably will feel great and feel like I can do anything because the pain's all gone. Doesn't mean your hip is ready for that. So I think that's the reason why he's saying 3 months, because walking, as I mentioned before, walking on a concrete warehouse floor, as well as turning to pick things up off the floor, bending over to, move things around on a pallet, things like that. Things that are just part of being a warehouse manager. I'm not going to want to think, oh, I can't do that. Oh, no, I can't do that. So I don't know. Kind of depends. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, we're just over 2 weeks out. We're way ahead of where I even need to be thinking about that. So we'll see though. We'll see. All right, let me scroll down here. Yeah, Max doesn't want to milk the neediness. That's correct. Jackson Digital, good to see you, sir. Someone will underbit and use MS Copilot to run the forklifts, and it'll end up like the German forklift safety video. I don't know which forklift safety video you're specifically referring to, but I've definitely seen some really bad forklift videos before. That's for sure. Underbid. Not 33 months. 3 months. Yeah, first of all, FMLA doesn't go that long. And actually, at the time when I was thinking about this, I was like, well, I only have a limited amount over a 12-month period. You only have so much FMLA. And at the time, I was kind of worried. I'm like, geez, I need to get back to work, especially if I have to 4 or 5 months down the road, get my prostate out. And then that's a whole nother recovery period as well. But like right now, that doesn't look like that's an issue with the MRI coming back clear. Well, enlarged prostate, everything seems to make sense with that. So right now it's a watchful waiting. Gonna try to see if I can get another MRI at the end of the year. The scammers are already using AI just a step ahead to telemarketers. Yeah, scammers are definitely using AI, no question. Where is it? Oh, okay. Sorry, it did a jump on me here. Humanity is dumb. Sounds human. Let's see. Calling customer service is an escape room. People love to break out or end up being where they don't belong. You're right. That's a great way of thinking about it. It is an escape room. And I do find it a challenge when I know going into it, I have a one-off question that none of these things are going to answer. It's always a challenge to see how quickly I can get out to the customer service queue. So yeah, I used to when and I haven't done this in a while. I should do this when the next time I get a phone call that's from a scammer, and it's going to be an AI, and I'm going to see if I can keep them on the line. Ask me my social security number. I'll give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and see what they say. All right. Well, thank you for that information. Can you hold on a second? And then they'd probably transfer me to a human, and I'll be like, hang up. But anyway, people like to belittle AI like a chicken pecking order. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like I said, today, when I was trying to get what video and where in that video I had predicted exactly what's happening right now with OpenAI backing out of some of their memory orders. I don't think they're going to back out of all 40%, but backing out of some of their memory orders. And therefore, the price of memory immediately dropped 20% as a result. Now, nothing changes overnight because we've been in this state for a while, which means that all the memory has been, the RAM that is being made for AI is different than the DDR5. I should say more memory chips are going to like HBM2, and all the product lines have been changed. So they're going to have to shift back once they confirm all of this. And then it's going to take, probably 8 to 12 weeks where we would really see a meaningful change in RAM prices. So keep an eye out on that. That's what I'm predicting now that OpenAI has pretty much come out and the rumors and what they've already said publicly. Yeah, I think we are going to see some move back to the consumer market, and I'll be curious to see what that may mean because right now we're only talking about RAM. That's it. But what that would also mean, because if they're not getting RAM, what else aren't they getting? Well, they're probably not getting storage, so that should lead to hopefully lower prices on SSDs and everything else. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I always think about that Dane Cook skit. I don't insult or torment AI. That weird kid gonna remember that you gave him a candy bar every day. I didn't see that. I did not see that. Mr. X625 says, I'm agree with you, Max. I've learned Linux totally because of AI. Without AI, I never would have learned so much so fast. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because now it's like I don't remember what I don't remember what I didn't know even just 6 to 12 months ago. Now I just know it. Like I'm comfortable in Linux terminal. Do I have to look up commands? Sure. Absolutely. All the time. But when I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is doing. I just didn't remember how to put it together. And with AI, now you can just ask. You don't necessarily have to remember everything. But yeah, I mean, so that's another thing. I want to get some type of Linux certification as well. Oh, that forklift safety video is the best. Let's see. Well, somebody sent it to me as a DM in the video, and I don't think I probably can put it on here because if somebody gets seriously hurt, that probably would demonetize my live stream. Let's see. A Max reacts to the Germans in warehouses. Yeah, I mean, I could do a reaction, but is this video on YouTube? Like if the video is on YouTube, I can replay it. Bill Clancy, thanks. Healing's going well. Taking a while. I mean, it just takes time. Just takes time. I'm still on crutches. Pain in the groin, which they say is normal. They said that'll probably go away over the next 2 weeks. So I'm guessing over the next 2 weeks, I'll probably be able to start walking at least with a cane. or one crutch. Right now I'm still on 2 crutches, but I'm being cautious because they say the worst possible thing you can do is fall. So just don't fall. There's one video where the guy, like, there's 5 things you got to remember, and every single one of them was a version of don't fall. And that really is. I mean, if you fall and you fall in the wrong way and you put pressure on that implant, it can crack your femur, like up it, and healing from that. I've seen the stories. They're brutal. They're brutal. I actually just watched a video today where there was a specific type of implant. I don't have this implant. And it's interesting because this particular company was taken over by Stryker, which is the maker of the implant I have, and the maker of the Mako system. But this wasn't part of that. But basically, what this one did was it had the ability to adjust from the implant. It had the ability to adjust how far the ball came in and out from the implant. So it was like you had the implant, then you had a separate stem, and then the ball that would go on top of it. The implant that I have is one piece, and then the ball goes on top of that. So what was happening is where the implant and where that stem met was breaking, snapping. And there's a lot of instances where that happened. And I was like, ooh, that's brutal. And to recover from that, they have to remove the total implant, which means they have to slice your bone to open it up to get the implant out. So that it's just like a fall. It's basically almost the same thing as having a fall, but worse. Because with a fall, as long as your implant doesn't move, you just have the pain of the fracture. But in this case, you have the pain from them opening you up. So you have all the soft tissue pain as well as the bone pain. Oh, it was brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right. Let me see where I left that off. All right. So we have Luciano Ruiz. What SlimSAS cable length do you recommend when using redrivers for multi-GPU setups like 6 to 8 GPUs? Is shorter always better, or is 50 to 75 centimeters fine? I mean, shorter is always better. And obviously redrivers do help. I don't remember. I think I do have 75 centimeter cables, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's one of those things. I know that I'm pretty sure 75 is okay, but bottom line is the shorter, if you can use shorter cables, use shorter cables. That's the bottom line. You're always going to be better off with shorter cables if you can do it. Let's see. Also, I noticed you use non-AIC redrivers. Any reason you prefer those over AIC ones? Not worth it. Non-AIC. I'm not familiar with it. Trying to remember the name of what is trying to remember of, let me see. SlimSAS host adapter. PCIe. C-Pain, that's what it is. I just remembered it. I don't think it did come up. Okay. So I just get them from C-Pain. So obviously it depends on which ones you're using. Obviously, if you're doing PCIe 4, DDR4, then you're using SlimSAS. Otherwise, you're using MCIO for PCIe 5. Anyway, do a follow-up question if that doesn't answer your question. But if you look on C-Pain's website, those are the ones that I went with. Jackson Digital says, I don't see a reason why the companies would lower the price that the product has been selling for, especially considering the volatile nature of supply and demand right now. So I don't know why they necessarily lowered things like immediately 20%, but things aren't selling. And if you go into like a micro center, there's not as many people in there as there normally are. You go there on a Saturday, it's usually packed. And it's not packed. It's busy, but it's definitely not packed. It's nothing like it usually is. So it is having an effect on what can be sold. So yeah, I'm sure there's like pressure from just the general like market. I would think that the first companies that would see a benefit would be PC manufacturers. Dell, Compaq, HP, well, not Compaq because that is HP now. All those companies will probably see the benefit first, I would think. Let's see. I think the price drop is temporary. That just means the capacity is freed up for other customers, and the DRAM cartels already said they're interested in protecting their profits. Yeah, they're interested in protecting their profits, but they need to sell what they can make. They don't want, they do not want their manufacturing line to sit idle because people aren't willing to buy for the more expensive prices. Obviously, people are willing to buy what they make at those prices. Yeah, but it's supply and demand. So at the current price, there isn't much demand. I mean, they're selling what they are making, but the supply is so much lower than it was. And I can tell you a lot of that stuff is sitting on shelves. But because they're getting deliveries so much less, so much more infrequently, the retailers are willing to sit on that for a little bit longer. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you have places like Micro Center. If you're building a computer, buy a bundle. It definitely helps a lot. All right, let's see. Oh, that sounds miserable. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Frogman. Sorry. That's not usually what she says. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but I'm sure that was probably pretty funny. Doom Boots add-in card. I mean, I'm using a Super Micro HS 112, whatever that is, SSL as a board, so it has PCIe slot. So yeah, I am using a PCIe slot. I'm not using any of the ones with direct Slim SAS, except for the Octo server that I have. That has that type of motherboard. Hopefully that answers that question. Yeah, exactly. Been there twice this week, and the pickup is light, little over half full. Exactly. So there isn't as much stuff being sold. And so that goes for RAM as well. So if all of a sudden 40% of the entire memory is in question of whether or not it's actually going to get bought, well, they're going to want to do something with that capacity. And the easy thing is, let's just revert it back to consumer, and away we go. I think it's really interesting that Crucial closed down for good in March, so it is no longer. So yeah. Oh, you were talking about, yeah, that definitely is miserable. Sorry, not retransmitter, retimer. Yeah, that's okay. All right, now I'm all caught up in chat finally. Now let me bring up. I had so many topics to talk about tonight. Well, one thing I already know, and I was hoping that Hobbies was going to be here tonight to talk about it, but you definitely want to take a look at, if you have a Ubiquiti network, definitely want to take a look at your in fact, let me it is not going to bring Oh, that's like me. This still the one? Okay, yeah, this one. So I'm going back to. All right, here we go. So I had like I said, I prepared for tonight. I actually gave everyone what the topics were going to be, and then everybody bailed on me. Jeez Louise. So yeah, basically what I have here is that, UniFi Network 10.2.93 is the biggest quality of life release for home-led admins. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong thing. Wrong thing. Where is it? Oh, I went up too high. Sorry. There it is. So there is a zero auth account takeover vulnerability with Ubiquiti. So trying to see here. The attack requires no credentials, no user interaction, which puts it at the absolute maximum CVS score of 10, meaning that that's the worst possible vulnerability. I was trying to see. So like right now, I know I need to patch my router. I am not up to 10.1.89. I am on something less than that. Because like I'm kind of the idea of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which one am I on? I am on 10.0.162. So yeah, I'm going to do some updating tonight. Hopefully my network won't go down for too long. But it needs to get done. Definitely needs to get done after I saw it. But that was the third vulnerability it's had in 12 months. I wasn't aware. So if you are running Ubiquiti, make sure you update your stuff now at least. I just don't like updating unless there's a reason. And I know that with one of the updates, they did break some things. And so I was glad I didn't update on that particular date. But those have since been fixed as I understand it. So anyway, all right, where did I do with that? Going back. There we go. That's what I need. There we go. So anyway, that was the key thing there is just make sure that you have your routers updated no matter what brand you have, because you never know what vulnerabilities they're going to have. Obviously, there's been a lot of things in the news about routers that are made outside the country not being allowed to be sold in this country. It's only new routers, not existing routers that already have FCC approval. But it does bring to the forefront of why are they concerned, and the reason why they're concerned is because, yeah, it's they can use your network to attack other networks if they gain control of your network. So, want to make sure you protect yourself. Not to mention, it can gain control of things on your network and run havoc. I already went over the DDR5. What's interesting, though, is that SSD prices are now 3 to 5 times their 2024 lows. And as I mentioned, Crucial brand permanently shut down. And I thought this was kind of funny. The 8 terabyte NVMe once cost more than gold per gram. I thought that was pretty funny. So I don't think SSD prices are seeing any type of reduction, but yeah. Digital Jackson says, thanks for the insight about Micro Center. Not to get too political, but the geopolitical ramifications of China aggressively surrounding Taiwan and our blunders on global trade. I have my opinions. I've kind of made them clear. Yeah, none of the decisions that have been made about trade have done good things for our economy. It's raised, again, temporarily, but it's raised inflation. Just the way it's just simple math. You take what used to cost 100% and you add 50% to it, or whatever it is. A lot of them have come down from there, but 15%, you start adding those amounts. Well, you're raising the price that it takes to come into this country, which means that's going to get passed on to the consumer, or lower profits for companies. None of those are good. If you lower profits to companies, you lower their growth. That's going to hurt the stock market. Or if they choose to pass it along and consumers are willing to pay for it, that raises inflation for those items. And somewhere along the line, something has to give. Something else isn't getting purchased. So it's going to hurt a different industry if it's not that industry. So yeah, none of that is good. And yeah, I mean, we did it to ourselves. Look over here. And China's like, yeah, keep looking over there. Keep looking over there. And they may be looking for an opportunity because we can't be spread so thin. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. You got to remember, like, when China took over Hong Kong, that was a big controversy when it was going to happen, because people were like, are they going to let Hong Kong be Hong Kong, or are they going to just assimilate it and have all the issues? Anyway, bottom line is it was a little bit of both, and it was over time. It wasn't like immediate. So what I could see possibly happening is having some sort of negotiation. There's going to be the threat, and that Taiwan is going to realize that U.S. is going to be there to back them up, and they're going to negotiate. I don't want to say surrender, but they're going to negotiate some type of agreement, long-term agreement, where eventually it will become part of China. That's kind of what I see as a possibility. It all depends, though, if we get to the point where we don't have Trump in office and we have somebody that views Taiwan as a greater asset to our country, a president that sees that as a greater asset, they're going to protect it. So China may be looking at this going, we got 2 years. We got 2 years to try to make this happen, and then we have an unknown. We have a known person that is giving all of their military resources to a different conflict, which means we have a window to threaten Taiwan. So I don't know. That's the risk in my mind. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Manufacturing from Taiwan is going to get a lot different and a bit more volatile. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, obviously we have some chip manufacturing coming here, but chip manufacturing is growing anyway. So, and Taiwan's small. It's not like they can there's not like endless land that they can just build this stuff. So they have to make better use of space in order to increase capacity. The easiest thing for them to do is, I don't know, build in the wide open Arizona desert. So we got all kinds of space there. So yeah, we gave, the Biden administration gave away the farm when it probably just made sense for them to come here anyway. I don't know. I wasn't obviously involved in those negotiations, so maybe they did have other options that they could do at the time. Maybe go into other Southeast Asia or Mexico possibly. So I don't know. I mean, it's good that we have this coming into this country. That's for sure. It will be jobs, increase in the amount of jobs, high-tech jobs. We just have to hold those companies' feet to the fire that they can't just, visa people in endlessly, to run their plants. So, but we'll see. Let's see. New fears about the helium supply. Wonder if that affects DRAM manufacturing. Also appears to be rumors of CPU shortages. Yeah, I mean, I definitely heard the thing about CPU shortages. Yes, I've definitely heard that, big portion of supply of helium comes from that area. I don't remember if they said one of the plants was damaged. I thought that's what I had heard in the bombings. So yeah, the world's a mess right now. Bottom line. I just suggest everybody watch Artemis. It's fun to watch. The people on Artemis, I mean, I try to make sure that I'm in a good mood when I'm on stream, because it's a lot easier to enjoy a live stream when the person isn't doom and gloom and the world sucks, and that's no fun. So if you're looking for positivity, oh my God, the people on Artemis, when they talk, the amount of positivity that comes out of them is just, it gives me goosebumps. It's just kind of like really cool to see these four people that obviously you cannot fake it, enjoy each other's company. I mean, you see them up there, they're cracking each other up. They're having a good time. It's really kind of cool to see. So go watch the Artemis tracker. There's also the NASA channel that has the constant live stream of the capsule. They switch back and forth between mission control and the capsule. But yeah, it's really cool to watch. Get you up to date on that. The first day their toilet didn't work, and the woman had to fix it. So I thought that was kind of funny. They kind of made jokes about it, like, good thing Christina knows how to fix a toilet. And so they kind of had a good joke about that. And they did have a problem with one of the helium tanks, so they basically shut it off. There was a leak, and they said, that's fine, we have enough helium to do what we need to do. We can always reopen it if we have to, but for right now we're just going to close it off and we should be fine. So yeah, I mean, right now they're pretty much on target with all their burns, and they had a adjustment burn, I think, that they didn't even have to do because they were like super like on target. They were within like a half a foot of where the target was. So they're like, yeah, within a half a foot, we don't need to do a burn for that. So anyway, I could be wrong on that one, but that's what I thought I overheard. Again, I have it on a lot, but like I said, I've been sleeping a lot, so I might have not completely heard that right. It's possible. Yeah, the toilet was broken for a while. Yes, it was. I mean, that's why you need Chum Change to go up there. I mean, if Chum Change was on there, he knows how to fix everything. That's what Chum Change needs to do. He needs to pivot to being an astronaut. That's what he needs to do. He's, the right size, smaller guys going up there, and he is jack of all trades. I mean, come on. Is there anybody better that you can think of about being an astronaut? Chum Change. I'm going to actually text that to him. Be like, I was talking about you tonight. I got it. You need to become an astronaut. Anyway. A long way to the nearest Buc-ee's. Yes, that's true. That's true, yeah. Long way to the nearest Buc-ee's, for 200,000 miles at this point, I think. Anyway, I don't have it up on this computer. I had the tracking up on my laptop because I've been sitting in bed a lot, just a lot easier on the hip. And yeah, so I've got like the computer up. I've got it hooked up to my TV sometimes, or maybe I just do YouTube on the TV. Kind of just depends. But a lot of times I'll just have the stream for Artemis up on the TV. And then if I'm watching something else, I'll have it on my computer, or I'll be checking out other things that are going on with my farm. But yeah, let's see. All right. So I got through all the questions. This is out of order. I got to get back to where it was in order. Oh, the B300 is coming out. The new, I think that's the new Vera Rubin, I think, system. So there's the DGX GB300 and the B300. It's $275,000 for this, not for the whole rack, just for one server in the rack. The rack itself is like over $1 million easy. But they are shipping, which is interesting to hear. So one of the other things I investigated was CoreWeave. I thought Core Scientific changed its name to CoreWeave, but they are two separate companies, and I wasn't aware of this. So I was listening to another stream, and made me kind of start to think about it. So I did like a little quick deep dive, and CoreWeave actually was an Ethereum mining company way back when, and then 2019 they started to pivot into basically doing data centers, high performance compute. And now CoreWeave is like a big supplier to Microsoft Azure. So yeah, they're a huge Microsoft supplier. So Microsoft has put a lot of their equipment over in their high performance compute data centers. And then obviously in 2022, they completely pivoted out of mining. They were never a Bitcoin mining company, which I was surprised. I didn't realize that. And then Core Scientific, CoreWeave was actually trying to purchase them, which I had heard about, but in October, I guess it fell through. So now Core Scientific is going it alone, where they are also pivoting out of, right now they're doing Bitcoin mining, but they're pivoting out of Bitcoin mining as well, and going into high performance compute as well. So this is where I'm talking about it, that we're starting to see reduction in Bitcoin hash rate. And the question is that temporary? Like when the price goes up, will the hash rate go up? I don't know. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it may not, because a lot of that reduction could be permanent. So I don't know. We'll see. One other interesting thing that, let's see. Yeah, CoreWeave, I think, was East Coast. I think I saw a video about their pivot. I think they're originally East Coast, but I think they now have stuff that's in like Texas. I think is that where they're at. Main facility is now, or they have two facilities in Texas. I think one in Oklahoma, if I remember correctly from reading that article. Another interesting thing that I came across this week. Obviously, we've talked about Proxmox in the past. Well, evidently, so VMware ESXi is like a big corporate virtualization platform, hypervisor. And when they change their pricing, companies are like, go screw you. No, I do not like that pricing model. So there's been a migration away from ESXi and towards Proxmox. And so Proxmox has been starting to really put a lot of effort towards enterprise type of customers. So hopefully that doesn't mean like they get too big for their britches and then decide, well, yeah, everybody's gonna have to pay. So hopefully that won't happen. I don't foresee that necessarily happening, but yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mentioned this earlier as far as like, I've been talking about wanting to get a certified Kubernetes administrator certification. And it seems like there is some people that are starting to pivot away from Docker and going towards Talos and Kubernetes. I don't know what Talos is. I just read it before earlier today, and I didn't have a chance to deep dive into that yet. But I was like, oh, well, that even means more of a reason why I should learn Kubernetes. Docker is basically where it spins up a container when it needs to do something, and then it just spins it back down. But there's no scheduling. Just uses it when it needs to use it and then spins it back down. Kubernetes, on the other hand, does scheduling. So it's a little bit different and is more of an enterprise type thing. So anyway, I'm going to be diving into that, and we'll see where that takes me. Again, that and Hermes are a couple things I want to look into. Let's see here. Oh, the engineering samples actually have leaked their performance for the EPYC Venice, the Zen 6 EPYC series, and it's on 2 nanometer technology, and the performance gain is what it looks like is 70% from the last generation to this generation. 70%. That is a huge jump. So that's kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. Plus the number of cores that you can have, 192 cores. You have a what does it come out to be? 384 cores. 384 cores. And then multiply that times 2 for number of threads. Yeah. A lot of compute power within one server rack, not even a rack, but server unit. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's getting pretty crazy. And I know this will be a complete shocker to people. Doom Boots switched from VMware to Azure VM. Yeah, it's another thing. I actually do have I call it beginner certification for Azure. So I am familiar with Azure. I've also thought about getting the administrator certification on that. But that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I'm kind of curious where the demand is for cloud, where a lot of that cloud demand is going when people are getting rid of VMware. But anyway, so I know this will be a big shock, but NVIDIA isn't coming out with any GPUs this year, any new GPUs this year. I know, shocker, with everything going on. And I mean consumer GPUs, not obviously enterprise GPUs or anything. So yeah, GDDR7 shortage is forcing all available supply, anything still available for supply left, to 5090, 5080, and of course, data center. So yeah. Occasionally I'm seeing pop up like availability of 5090s. Now they're crazy priced, like $3,500 to $4,000, but yeah. I will tell you, I'm not exactly shopping for more. Like I said, the next thing I may do, especially if I decide I'm going to buy another computer to just run like Hermes, but again, I got to look into that. Just to run another Proxmox server so I can run other things on it. Right now, I've got a 5950X that's running 8 cores for the 5090, and I've got another 8 cores for other things. So I've got a Nimbus node on there that's taking 4 cores, and then I have only 4 cores left for other things on that. So yeah, and I've got 4 cores running for a Nimbus node back there. I've definitely thought, like, I've also got 2 cores for a Neoxa node for that back there. I mean, obviously I could decide to, I don't know. I'm debating, because I could free up some space if I decide I'm gonna spin down some of my Flux nodes or Neoxa nodes, but they are making money. I'm making all my nodes together is making about $40 a month, so not nothing. It is profit. So I honestly don't think Flux is going down much more. But of course, as I say that, we'll see what happens. I know it got below 5 cents. So I don't know. I'm was thinking about how I could spin up another Nimbus node when I get more Flux, and then I'd have 3 Nimbus nodes. But I also thought, well, you know what? With the price of it, maybe just go up to one Stratus, run one Stratus node, be done with it. It'll free up other resources. So I don't know. Got some things to think about there, but I could free up some resources if I did something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. 4K, how much do you think a PNY RGB 5090 would get? Like I said, 3,500 I think is probably what you could get for it. That'd be my guess. I haven't looked at used pricing, but I would think, like, if you can get like a used 5090 for under $2,500, I think it's a deal. I really do. Let's see. Doomboot says the FE models, everything under 4K is basically gone or a scam on eBay. Exactly. I mean, I've seen 5090s advertised for like $1,300. I'm like, get out of here. You have no ratings. You're a scam. Yeah. I know that hobbyist actually, he actually had tried. He's like, oh, I'll just try it. What could happen? Like, well, you get scammed. Like, I'll get my money back. And it didn't even go through. Like, eBay's like, nope, you're not buying this. Your money's back. This is a scam. So it didn't even get that far. All right, let me go back. And I've been live for 2 hours. I'm definitely getting a little sore. So I'm probably not going to stream for another, I'm probably stream for maybe another 10 or 15 minutes at the most. So we'll see. All right. Let me see. Oh, the other thing is that AMD is coming out with its MI455X. Got to readjust. With HBM4. It's basically their first credible rack scale challenger to NVIDIA in AI GPU rental. So they're going to start delivering that. So that's the AMD Instinct series. So yeah, a lot of good things happening. And honestly, I thought there was another spot where it talked about, oh, that's right. I didn't change it. Change the order. Come on. GPU rental market. So like H100 1-year rental contracts are up 38% since October. There's a lot of demand for it. A lot of demand for it. I've definitely noticed that demand has gone up. And I will definitely tell you, I meant to start talking about this earlier, but GPU autopilot. So I know the guy who runs it. He lives, I don't know, 15 miles away from where I live, somewhere around that range. So I've known of him for a while. And he said he came out with this thing. So he asked me, would I try it? I'm like, yes. So I've been giving him some feedback. They've been implementing some of the features that I have been suggesting, which has been great. But I will tell you that once we started seeing this increase in prices, the increase in prices was reflected in GPU autopilot. So now when people would come off and I'd re-rent at a higher price. So that was a contributing factor to why I made more money this week. So like I said, last week I was happy. Hell, you saw how happy I was when I got over 1,000. Now I'm over $1,200 a week. That's nuts. We're getting to the point where basically I'm approaching $5,000 a month. When I was mining, admittedly, I wasn't going out and buying all the cards I could get. I was saying I'm not buying things over retail. So I wasn't going to bots and things like that as well. So I wasn't able to expand as fast as a lot of other people were. But I mean, I thought I was doing good at $3,000 a month. And GPU rentals has now exceeded that. Now, my investment is definitely higher than what I had in mining, no question, but still. And then the other thing, actually, interestingly enough, this is the other thing I thought of. I still have definitely available power that I could use. And I need to reach out to Red Panda and see if I was able to get 170HXs. Would I be able to reach out? Could he put me in touch with the guy and see if maybe I could help contribute to what he needs done? I don't know. Kind of curious about that because I could do 2 12 GPU rigs so I could do 24 H170 or 170HXs. So that's another thing I haven't. So lots of time to think. So I've got a lot of brainstorms, but that one I would want to have I don't want to spend the money and then be like, well, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. So we'll see. I don't think if there was any. I have one other thing I'm going to cover at the very end. And so actually, this was interesting. CoreWeave went public in March. They came out at what was it, $45 a share? Where was it? It says somewhere in here. Anyway, they came out IPO price was $40 a share. current price when I ran this, it was at $87.58. It's more than doubled in a month. Wish I had thought about this when it came out. I didn't know about it, unfortunately. But yeah, that would have been one to take advantage of, no question. Yeah, I can share a link to my GitHub. Hang on. I gotta remember. It's max voltage something. So I gotta remember what it was. So I think actually really similar to my Twitch ID. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I can share the link. There's my link. Now, I don't have everything there yet. Like, I have the heat pump calculator, the community solar calculator, the Power BI name redactor that I talked about tonight a little bit, and then the ComEd time of use, distribution time of use calculator. Not for supply, but distribution. So those are the tools I've got on there right now. I will be eventually uploading my Vast.ai Ubuntu ISO, so that you just basically take that ISO, stick it in, and it should just load and work. Now, if you've got that R8126, that would be different. I haven't uploaded that to this yet, but I do plan on uploading something about that as well on here as well. So definitely a work in progress. Like I said, I got tons of things that I want to do. Lots of things I want to do. So looking forward to feeling better and being awake more often, where and being more mobile, where I can sit at my desk. Like 2 hours is really the limit, because I can feel it right now. Definitely feel it. And I'm trying to take weight off the right hip, off the right cheek. Yeah, no worries, Mr. X. Cool, appreciate it. All right, let me go back. If there was anything else, I think I pretty much hit most of the stuff. I mean, talked about the fact that the H100s were increasing in price, but so is Vast. So this, I think, is a little bit dated, where it was saying the Vast AI pricing for 5090s is 37 cents an hour for spot pricing. And they're saying 1,000 plus 5090 machines on the platform. There's more than that. But, bottom line is, I think it's higher than that now, average price. And maybe it's not average price, it's available price. So when you start getting to the point where you're like, well, here, let me take a look here. This is the wrong one. Go here, and I think it's right there. There we go. I'm not gonna put it on screen, but I'm gonna tell you. So, like, yeah, Jesus, RTX Pro 6000. There's 377 available, and of those, it's about 336. So 297 out of 336 are rented. And there's been times where it is like almost 100% rented, which is amazing. So then if I go down to 5090s, 5090s, if we look just even a couple days ago, like on April Fool's Day at like 11 a.m., which was the peak, there were 3,940 rented and only 375 available 5090s. That's like over 90% rented of verified. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. Now it has dropped off a bit. I haven't seen too big of a hit, but yeah, it's dropped off a bit. But again, I like the fact that GPU rentals, if my stuff drops off, and meaning that prices, I need to drop my price more to be like the next guy up type of thing. Because one of the things Vast is doing is they're also letting people coming in, letting them know what is going to be the most economical thing to rent for what they need. And it's based on what, how many cores, how much memory, how much VRAM, all those kinds of things. So, so being the next lowest definitely helps. Definitely helps. So now if we go to 4090s right now, we're over 80% rented. There's basically 3517 that are verified, and over 3,000 are rented. All my 4090s are rented right now. Like I said, I have one 4090 that's currently on Vast. I'm probably going to take it off once it hits like a price where I can cash out. And then I'm going to move it either to do personal stuff or to or move it to Vast, one of the two. So I haven't decided yet. Swamp7 says, you have to get off Vast. Everywhere else you can make it double long-term contracts. Yeah, show me where. Where with my basement setup is anybody going to accept me onto their platform? Please tell me. You have a different situation where you have a more IT environment setup that I don't have. I don't have backup power. I don't have, I have airflow, but yeah, it gets to be like 90 degrees down there. It's probably gonna hit 100 this summer, would be my guess. I'm doing some things that are definitely be doing some videos on it, but one of the things we're gonna do is take out, there's like a window it's a sliding window. And so half of it is open. We're going to take the window out because it just has clips that keep it in. And then we're going to mount a full filter for the whole window and make sure that it will still have more airflow. But it was interesting. I was running it through Claude or Gemini, I forget which. And they basically said, yes, but depending on how much airflow you're able to get from the window well, maybe your limiting factor. Because we have a cover on it, and then we have like this much space all the way around the window well with mesh to keep the bugs out. And keep, any animals or anything like that from getting into the window well. So, yeah. So anyway, so we're definitely going to be making some changes in the basement, no question. Probably would help keep a lot of the dirt out because just a screen is going to still let dirt through. Yeah. Jackson Digital says, no, I noticed that I had been rented on Salad for a high amount, but still lower than the amount from Vast. I wonder how many hands are swapping systems around to rent each other. Yeah, I don't know. Flannels only. Yeah, you like the flannel? It's getting to the point where I won't be wearing flannels much longer. I think last week I wore a sweatshirt just because I wanted to be like super comfortable. Yeah, I don't know how much swapping there's going back and forth. I mean, that's one of the things that I think Vast does very well, that once you become verified, you're hesitant to move it. And that's the thing. So like I said, Swamp7, sorry, going back to your comment. Like I said, let me know. Let me know where. I am willing to move. I'm not married to Vast. Let me know. Like I said, I know if I could get on TensorDock, yeah, I'd make twice as much. No question. I know that. If I could get on RunPod, I'd make probably a little bit more than twice as much. But I can't get on RunPod. I have inquired with these companies. SimplePod? No, I got a no from them. So yeah, I've tried. I have definitely tried. I mean, so I'm like, guys, look at my reliability. If you want to take only the ones that are 99.9293% reliability, fine. But I have the reliability scores to show that my stuff stays up. Of course, I say that. Watch, one of my units will go down tonight, of course. Why did I have to say that out loud? Dang it. Oh, that was Joker Minder's joke. I still messed it up. I didn't see Joker Miner say that. All right. Well, anyway. All right. Let me go back. I think I am nearing the end of this main things I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I talked about that. Talked about that. Oh, and I guess the last thing, which was kind of interesting, was I think we all have seen this coming. I mean, it's happening in Bitcoin mining as well, but it's also happening in data centers as well. Basically, liquid cooling going mainstream in 2026. People are not, or companies are not going to want to air cool their facilities anymore. They're not going to want to just do it through air conditioning. They're going to want to start doing it through. And this was actually an idea I came up with. Again, I kind of question as to how much of a market there would be for it. But if somebody's got a small data center, I could definitely see it. Is that, run a water cooling setup. And obviously you would definitely have to put, you have to change out I'm trying to think of anyway, you'd have to put a different plate on it in order to run water through the GPUs, but run it through a loop, but then have like a distribution plate. And I've seen this in servers where they have like 2 420 rads that are stacked one on top of the other, like one in front of the other. And then they run air through those, but within it's air cooled. Well, don't do that. Run it through a distribution plate, then run it through more distribution plates, and run it to like you do with immersion cooling. I don't want to do immersion cooling, but run it to a big radiator outside with huge fans, and then circulate it that way. I think that would be a fascinating solution. I don't think there's anything out there, just because there's not a big enough market for it. I wouldn't think, but that would be a really cool setup. I would love to do something like that. I mean, I got the window well right there, and all I'd have to do is basically, I might have to reduce the number of fans I have in that window well, possibly. But there might be some room either on the top or the bottom, or make a new one where I would shift the fans up or down so that I could run the hoses out on top of the fans and then run it out the window well, and then have a radiator right there with fans. That would be cool. That would be really, really cool. And then I would have like really good cooling in that situation. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept, but like I said, there has to be a market for it. I just don't think there's a big enough market for it. Just isn't. There aren't enough people like me doing this big of an operation where it would make sense. Could be wrong, but I don't know. Yeah, I am rented on Salad for 11.2 cents on a 4090. Eesh. Yeah, I had been rented for like 18 cents for a while, and then that went away, and now your highest one that I've seen is like 14 cents, but I'm not on that one. I'm only on the one that's 11.2 cents. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of those jobs available. So, but it's consistent, and another 2 weeks and I'll reach that limit of $110, and then I will move it over at that point. And I really want to use that to, again, develop an auto install for Vast. One of the things I really want to do before I would ever think about getting off of Vast is develop that. And do it in 2 ways. One is just through a script, and then do one of it through like Ansible. So you'd have like a playbook that you would basically define how the install went. So, yeah. So we'll see. That's going to be another thing I want to do. Quick Hash, how you doing? Will I be able to expand now? I would say not yet. I mean, you can expand, sure. The product's available. You want to pay that price? Yeah, it's available. Go ahead and expand. But as far as RAM pricing and SSD pricings, I'm saying if everything they're starting to say starts to come to fruition, I would say another 12 weeks, I would say, is when you might start seeing some meaningful movement. Maybe earlier than that, maybe 10 weeks. We got to think about it. All the stuff coming over is generally on boats. Okay. So that stuff takes 4 to 5 weeks and then another week or two on either end. So you're talking 6-7 weeks, basically what we call on the water, because you got to take customs into account on both sides. And then the time of manufacture, the time to pivot, these things aren't just going to suddenly change over. Going to be a week or two of evaluation to say, is this really happening? If it is really happening, then finally making the pivot, retooling again. There's going to be some time of replanning that it just isn't like I said, it's not a snap of the fingers. But I think it can be done relatively quick. That's what I'm thinking. At the earliest, probably 3 months, we'll see meaningful change. When I say meaningful change, again, things went up multiple times. I'm thinking we come down to about 50%. So we're still going to be 2 to 3 times as expensive as we were, is what I'm thinking, but 50% down from where we are. That's what I'm thinking. Like I bought a 2x16 gig and it was $339. It was in the range of $339 or $369. And that was DDR5. Well, that DDR5 kit 2x16 was like $100. So if it comes down 50%, you're talking like $175. So it's still going to be more expensive, considerably more expensive, but maybe only 75% more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Quick Cash says, how about water tower that circulates the coolant to a coil and close off the air from the outside, eliminates dust? I mean, you're still going to have some radiant heat. I mean, it would be definitely a much smaller opening to let air in. But if I have most of the heat going out, I probably would just air condition the basement at that point. Because most of the heat would be going out that way. Yeah, I probably would just shut everything. And I'd probably leave the fan there because they have shutters that close. Just in case. And so if it did get too hot down there, it could still pull air, but it would be pulling the air conditioned air through the rack. And be pulling air probably from upstairs. So, which would be sucking air from the outside in. But again, I have a larger air conditioner now, or larger heat pump. So yeah. I don't know. All of it. Interesting thought though. Definitely an interesting thought. But yeah, that's same general idea. You'd have a big reservoir and then it would just be going through just like you would on a regular computer that's water cooled, but you basically have a much larger reservoir that would then distribute to multiple units. I don't know. Like I said, I saw this server that was 100% liquid cooled, but at the end of the day, it was liquid cooled inside, meaning that it still was air cooling the radiators to the back of the rack. So it was all like internal as opposed to taking all that liquid outside and then just, distributing it from there. So just going to double check. I didn't think so. I'm going to stop the virtual camera. All right, let me go back. I think, if anybody's got any questions, you got about 5 minutes. Wow, I've already gone longer than I thought I was going to. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll wait until tomorrow to update the Ubiquiti. I don't want to do it right now because I'm going to want to go to sleep pretty soon. And if anything goes wrong, I'm going to be like, oh crap. And I know I'll need to have my wife around if something needs to be reset or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It's really hard to want to reset things when it's as rented as it is, but it's going to be less rented on a weekend day than it will be during the week usually. Like right now, if I do a refresh, I am. Every single 4090 is rented. I have two 5060 Ti's that are not rented. And then I have one 5090 that's the non-verified, the unverified 5090 that's not rented, but everything else is rented. And so if we look at like, now it's hard to really tell exactly what they're set at and they're rented at because they do adjust their price even as they're rented. But like right now, yeah, like my 6x4090 rig's making it $150 an hour, $152 an hour. My 8x4090 rig, which again is short memory, it's only got 256 gigs, so it is a little hampered. So it does rent for less per GPU than the 6x4090 because of that. But it's making $1.91, now $1.92. My next 5090 is making 31 cents an hour. It's interesting. The 5060 Ti's are all over the place. I've got one dual 5060 Ti rig that's making 12.2 cents an hour. And the next one down is making 17.5 cents an hour for two. Bear with me here a second. I'll go down to the last one. My last rig of 2x5060 Ti's, and this is due to storage, is making 33 cents an hour. Two 5060 Ti's, because of the jobs that are on here, are making as much or more than one 5090 on an old T7810. So, and that one only has a 10 core version, E5 2660 V3. CPU was like $20 or something. It was ridiculous. It was probably less than $20. It was really low. I was surprised at how cheap it was. And that thing is just killing it right now. Just absolutely killing it. Anyway, but my 3x5090 rig is making 93 cents an hour. 1x5090, 35 cents, 32 cents. That one obviously just recently got re-rented because it's saying 17.1 cents, but that one must have gotten rented at about 30 cents. Right now it's set at 30.4 and it's been there for a while. So that one probably just got re-rented. 2x3090 is making 24.4 cents. So a little over 12 cents per 3090 per hour. Again, that one's a long-term rental. I know right now you can easily make 15 cents or more. My other 3090 is making 15 cents, and that has been a long-term rental per hour. So anyway, it's doing good. And like I said, eventually I'm going to run out of time off to use in order to supplement the short-term disability. So this is really, really helping to supplement my income. That is for sure. And I'm not spending as much as I had been. Like I hadn't been growing as much. Like I said, I did right before I had the surgery. I did finally build out a computer to put in the liquid cooled MSI, the MSI Liquid Supreme. So that's really the last thing I spent any big money on. Oh, I knew there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Let me go over the chat, and then I'll go over that in a second. Let's see. Okay, it says I'm have to make a video on this cooling tower. 15 tons I just got. Wish me luck. 15 tons? Damn. Rizzo, how you feeling, bud? I'm feeling good. I'm a little sore right now because I've been sitting for 2.5 hours almost now. Well, yeah, I've definitely been sitting for over 2 hours because I was down here about a half hour before before the start of the stream. So I'm going on 3 hours of sitting, and I can definitely feel it. But that's okay. It doesn't, as far as the pain goes, it's still, I'd say the pain right now is about the same as prior to surgery. It's just some of the pain's the same. Like the pain down the leg is still similar to what I was feeling before. But there's no hip pain. There's butt pain. But that's that's different. That's still a soft tissue damage type of thing that happened from the surgery. I did have anterior surgery, so it came from the front. I have a nice looking scar. Scars are cool, man. So yeah, got a scar. It's still healing, but it hasn't had a bandage on it for over a week. They're like, you just need a bandage. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, just as long as it doesn't start seeping, and it hasn't. So yeah, it's scabbed in a couple areas, and like I said, it's jagged. Looks nasty. Anybody wants to see the picture of it, let me know. I don't know if anybody ever saw the picture of I posted, I think, of the actual femoral head that got cut off. That thing was nasty. That thing was really nasty. But anyway, Rizzo, I'm getting better. So thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. All right. The one other thing. So I had been thinking about getting a standing desk for a long time. I've got an IKEA desk with like 4 poles. It's really shaky, as you can see. I just like gave it a little nudge and you can see it shake. It works, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, these IKEA tops are like hollow. So I'm pretty sure I've got 3 monitors on this one monitor stand, and it's kind of leaning. And I'm like, well, it's not broke yet, but I can see someday it's just going to tip. So I am, on Sunday night, I am going to order a FlexiSpot desk, FlexiSpot E7 Pro. They've got a sale going on right now. I do not have yet. I'm going to get one. I don't have an affiliate link yet. But since there's only 20 here, but I will let you know. So there is the possibility of getting a free desk. It is, I believe it is 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time, actually. Definitely check my work on that. But if you are in need of a standing desk and you were planning on ordering one anyway, and you were thinking about getting a FlexiSpot one, and you want to take a risk, you can be, there's 10 people, first come, first serve, at that time, ordering a desk up to $800, and it can be free. Now, my desk is only going to be about $650, I think, with tax, something like that. So I'm going to try to make sure I'm ready to hit send right at that time and keep my fingers crossed that it goes through right away, because I'm sure I'm not going to be the only one that's going to want to be doing that. So we'll see. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was planning on buying it anyway. And FlexiSpot, actually, I've applied for, they have, through their affiliate system, they also have the ability to, like, you can offer to do a video and put up a price and things like that. So I'm like, basically put up the price for what it was going to cost me to buy the desk, so that they would just pay me that way. They don't do like sending you out, unless you're a huge YouTuber, and they probably would. But I haven't been able to get them to do that. I obviously didn't push really hard because I can't stand, and I couldn't stand before for any length of time. But once this thing is better, I'm going to want to start doing videos standing up. I think I can be a lot more, I mean, my body just knows that if I'm standing up in front of people, I'm presenting, and your kind of energy level just goes up, just because that's the way you've kind of been programmed. And when I'm making a video and I'm sitting down, I just don't feel that same energy. And I've seen other people, a lot of people will stand up and they can be more emotive, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. You can be more dynamic when you're standing up as opposed to sitting down. So that's why I definitely want to get a standing desk, like I said. Plus, I need a desk. That reminds me, I do need to measure to make sure that the one I'm thinking about getting a 4-foot by 30-inch desk. And so I'll have to double check to make sure that fits in this space. I'm pretty sure it does. I don't think I want the bigger, there's a bigger one that's like, sorry, that one's 48 by 30. And I could also get a 55 by 28. So kind of thinking deeper with what I do would be better, because it would give me more space if I wanted to, like, I have a overhead camera, so I'd have more space for that in front of the monitors. So I'm kind of thinking that I'll go that direction. A little bit cheaper. It's not that much difference, like $30 difference in the price. But yeah, I'll measure this desk and see like what that would mean for the space. And obviously no real big rush to get it set up, because it'll probably get here before I could even really start using it as a standing desk. I use it as a sitting desk, but I'm not going to be able to really set it up, and I'm not going to make Sunflower Mama set it up for me. So anyway, but yeah, that's exciting for me. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Red Panda said he was going to show up, but he never showed up. I know it's not always convenient time for everybody, but appreciate you guys being here. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for being here. Have a good weekend.